Welcome to Friday, March 4th. Let's find an easy seat and begin our mindful yoga practice. And as you get into your space, I will give cues today that will include options for all of the props. So if you want to make sure that you've got them available, and arriving, sit tall. You might glance down and notice if your shoulders, if you were to draw a line from your shoulders and drop it like an anchor to the ground, if your shoulders are forward like they are for a lot of us, let's lean back in space, engaging the core muscles to support you. Imagine lifting your torso up out of your hips, ears over shoulders over hips. You could even roll your shoulders up, back, and down. If you'd like to begin practice by chanting Om, you can draw your hands together in front of your heart, keeping in mind that this sound vibration represents our experience of existence. So as we chant, or as you imagine chanting in your mind, you could imagine the sound rising from the very base of your spine all the way up, representing birth or creation, the experience of life itself, and then death or transformation. Inhale deeply. Release your hands. Stay seated tall, breathing, observing the breath. Sharing a quote from Thich Nhat Hanh's book, Living Buddha, Living Christ. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. Breathing in, I calm my body. This is like drinking a glass of cool water. Feel the freshness permeate your body. Breathing out, I smile. Whenever you see an image of the Buddha, he's always smiling. When you smile with mindfulness, you realize the wonder of a smile. On your next inhale, lift your chin, look up. Exhale, drop your chin, looking down. Always moving in a way that feels safe for your body. Inhale, look up any amount. Exhale, look down. One more time at your pace. Inhale and exhale. Return the head to neutral, sitting tall. Inhale, look over your right shoulder. And exhale, look over your left shoulder. Twice more each side. Breathing in, look right. Breathing out, look to your left. Once more, inhaling and exhaling. Return the head to neutral. Inhale to sit really tall. Exhale, drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Soften your left shoulder. Stretch the left side of your neck. Stay for another cycle or two of breath. And then you can lift your head back up through neutral or roll your head forward, chin towards chest. We will meet with the left ear over the left shoulder. Be sure you're sitting tall. Sometimes we round our spine a little bit when we make that transition. One more breath. And then draw your head back to neutral. Send your legs long, grabbing your strap if you have one available. I like to keep my hips still on a blanket, and option to bring the blocks alongside you. Bend your right knee, placing the right foot up against the left thigh. Engage both legs. Press the right foot into the left leg, press the left foot back. You can spread the toes of the left foot wide. And if you're using a strap, loop it under the left foot. Sitting really tall, inhale, engage your core, soften the shoulders, and exhale, lean forward, hinging forward, keeping the spine long. So options here, you can keep holding the strap. Maybe you bring your hands or arms to blocks. Maybe you stack blocks on your long left leg and rest your head on them. You choose what feels right to you today for about 3 more breaths. Every inhale, a chance to lengthen the spine. As you're ready, sit up tall. Plant the right foot in front of the right hip. You can scoop belly, breast tissue out of the way to help you hug the right thigh in. You can stay just like this or take the Mrityasana twist, inhaling to reach the left arm up overhead, get really long, and exhale, twist to your right, hugging the left arm around the right leg, or maybe you can bring the elbow down on the outside of the right leg, fingertips towards the sky, right hand can come back behind you. Keep sitting tall, and maybe you look over your right shoulder. Only go as far into a shape as it feels right. One more breath. And unwind gently. Send your right leg long. Bend the left knee. Janu Shirshasana on the other side. Again, the foot of the bent leg presses into the straight leg presses back. You can imagine everything locking into the Sushumna central line of energy. If you're using the strap, hold on to that. Sit really tall. And on an exhale, hinge forward. Set yourself up in a way that works for you today. Notice if you start to relax the right leg. Let's keep it intentional. Toes spread wide is a way that helps me keep awareness of the leg. Toes spread wide, pointed to the sky and a little bit back towards the face. Another full, slow breath. And as you're ready, sit tall. Plant the left foot in front of the left hip. Again, scooping, moving any adipose tissue. You can stay just like this or inhale to reach the right arm long. Really stretch up. Exhale, take a twist to your left, hugging the right arm around the left leg, or maybe bringing the elbow down on the outside. Anything that works for you. Wherever you go, sit tall. Maybe you look over your back shoulder. Breathe deeply, and as you exhale, gently unwind. Make your way into tabletop Varmanasana. Once you arrive in tabletop, start to flex your spine through cow and cat, inhaling to drop the belly, shoulder blades hug the spine, arms hug the side body, look up. Exhale, push the ground away, head hangs heavy, navel towards spine. Move at your own pace. Keep in mind that you can always move in any way that feels good to you. You are free to explore your practice, explore your body. Maybe You keep a gentle smile on the face if that feels true to you. The next time you come to an exhale, send the hips all the way back and down as far as they'll go for you. You can keep your arms up overhead for a more active Balasana child's pose, or you can bring your arms down by your sides. You can keep your thighs together, or you can bring your knees out as wide as the edges of the mat. Settle in a way that feels good to breathe for 3 slow breaths. Noticing if the mind flutters all around. Noticing if you're really here right now, or if you're thinking about something from the past or the future. And then invite your attention to your next in-breath and out-breath. When you're ready, reach your arms up overhead. Tuck your toes. You might bring your knees back to hips distance if you took them wide. Breathe in, preparing for a downward facing dog. Breathe out, send the hips to the sky. Adho Mukha Svanasana, this triangle shape. You can pedal your feet, bending one knee and then the other. You might bring your hands out nice and wide. Sometimes I even let my pinkies come off of the edges of the mat. Glance at your arms. See if you can have the inner eye of your elbow point more towards the space between your thumb and index finger. So we're looking for external rotation in the shoulders. And then we anchor down through the inner lines of the hands, which is internal rotation. So that is not easy to do. Work with it. Let your head hang heavy and your breath be full. Spine long. Knees can be soft. One more breath here. And when you come to an inhale, look forward. Really engage your abdominal muscles. Push the ground away. And as you exhale, step or hop your feet to the top of the mat, making your way into Uttanasana, forward fold. We'll practice today with feet hips distance apart, second and third toes centered with the middle of your heel. On an inhale, lift halfway, long spine. On an exhale, fold forward. On an inhale, rise all the way up, reaching to the sky. And exhale your hands to your heart. Inhale to reach up. Exhale to fold. Hands touch down. Maybe you use blocks. Step your right foot way back in space. Keep the left knee over the left ankle. Lots of energy into your back leg. Press back through the heel. You can stay like this, or you can lower your right knee. Keep the hands on the ground or reach them up, or anywhere in between. If you dropped your right knee, perhaps you explore lifting it. Maybe you keep it lowered. Either way, you're in Anjaneyasana, crescent lunge. Since our arms are overhead, we let the shoulders shrug up and then imagine moving the shoulders out wide. Breathe deeply. One more breath. On your exhale, lower down, hands touch the earth, step yourself back into plank pose. Breathe here. Exhale, drop the knees, slowly lower down. Arms point back towards your toes, all the way down. As your torso meets the earth, point your toes back. Engage your core and lengthen your tailbone. On an inhale, lift your heart any amount. Hands can float off of the ground, shoulders sliding together and down. Bhujangasana, cobra pose, pressing the tops of the feet into the earth. Staying for another breath or two. Maybe you push your hands into the ground, arms hugging the ribs as you peel your heart off of the mat up to the sky. From wherever you've gone with your exhale, lower back down. Tuck your toes, breathe in, breathe out. Push the ground away, Phalakasana, plank pose. Inhale, and exhale to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Push the ground away here. Let the head hang heavy. Be reminded that you can also come to child's pose anytime. As you're looking back towards your thighs in downward facing dog, you might imagine your inner thighs spiraling towards each other and then to the sky back behind you. So that's internal rotation of the femur in the hip. One more breath. Look forward between your hands. And as you exhale, make your way to the top of the mat. On an inhale, rise all the way up, reaching up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale to reach. Exhale, hinge, long spine all the way down. Hands touch down, step your left foot way back in space. As you arrive, the right knee is over the right ankle. There's lots of energy into the back leg. Press through the sole of your left foot. Draw your heart forward, long spine. Maybe you lower your left knee. Maybe you keep it lifted. Maybe you reach your arms up, maybe not. Explore Anjaneyasana, crescent lunge. If your arms are up overhead, imagine lifting fingertips to sky and spiraling the pinkies in towards each other, internally rotating the arms. Reach and breathe. Another full breath. On your exhale, release the hands to the ground. Step yourself into plank pose. Inhale. Exhale, lower the knees, lower the torso, arms hug the side body. Point your toes back, lengthen the low back. Press the tops of your feet into the earth as you lift your heart, shoulder blades sliding together and down. If you stay in baby cobra, you might lift the hands off of the mat. For more full expression of Bhujangasana, press the hands into the mat, lift the heart. Keep lengthening the low back as you do this. Breathe fully. And on your next exhale, lower down. Tuck your toes. Big breath. Breathe out. No breath in the body. Push the ground away. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 to 5 breaths. Remember, child's pose is still here for you. Notice that the head and neck can be relaxed and heavy, that the jaw can be soft. When you're ready, inhale to look forward, core engaged. Exhale, make your way to the top of the mat. Feel the ground under your feet. And on your inhale, rise all the way up, reaching out and up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, reach to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. If you have a block here, let's set it on its highest setting on the the top right side of the mat. Then step your left foot back and out, setting up for warrior two. Inhale, rise up into Virabhadrasana 2. Block behind the right ankle as we explore Trikonasana again. So you're welcome to stay right here, Virabhadrasana 2. Or inhale, straighten your right leg, lengthen your low spine. Exhale, hinge forward, reaching the right fingertips to the distance. Maybe the right hand comes to the block or the right leg. Left fingertips to the sky or alongside your ear, really stretching the fascial line, connective tissue. Notice if you can still be aware of the pinky side edge of your back foot. Little bend in your right knee. On your inhale, return to Virabhadrasana 2. On an exhale, hands to hips. Pivot into a wide leg stance and then pivot your heels in. So toes and knees are pointing out. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, lower down like you're leaning against a wall, sliding down it. Goddess pose, Uttanasana. Lengthen your low back. Only go as low as you can while still feeling like you have control and balance. One more big breath. Inhale, stand up. Pivot into Virabhadrasana 2, now bending into your left leg. If you like to use the block for Trikonasana, bring it behind your left ankle. Settle in for a couple of full breaths, gazing over your left fingertips. Stay here or explore triangle, straightening your left leg. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, hinge towards the left. Lower your left hand. Reach the right fingertips to the sky. You might imagine leaning back in space. Maybe reach your right arm overhead to feel the stretch of the connective tissue over your right side body. You can always look down if this feels like too much on the neck. One more full breath. And then looking down, bend the left knee. Inhale, rise up, Virabhadrasana 2. Hands to hips if that helps you feel steady. Pivot back into a wide leg stance, then pivot your heels in. Imagine you're leaning back against a wall as you inhale, reach up, and exhale, lower into Goddess Squat, Uttanasana. Lots of energy here. Sometimes I bring my hands to my inner thighs to help guide the legs out wide. The knees might want to cave in, and we want to try and keep the knees pointing over the toes. This time, big inhale. Exhale, stand up. Hands to hips. Come back to Tadasana, top of the mat. Exploring Bakshasana tree pose, so moving to a wall or piece of furniture if you want support for balance. Hands on your left hip. Engage your left gluteal muscles as you start shifting your weight into the left leg. The right foot might float off of the ground, and maybe this is where you stay today. This is already a lot of balance effort. Option with your right hand to hold the right ankle and press the right foot into the top of the left thigh. Also an option to keep the right toes on the ground and just lift the heel to the ankle. Both are Bakshasana tree pose. Breathe wherever you're taking it. You can bring your hands to your heart. Anjali Mudra. You can also lift your arms up overhead. Full breaths, noticing how this balancing pose is. And just like at the beginning of practice in Janu Shavasana, when we pressed the foot into the thigh and the thigh pressed back, keep that energy. One more breath, and then slowly release. Pausing, noticing. Bring your right hand to your right hip, intentionally engaging the right gluteal muscles, right leg, as you shift the weight into the right foot. Standing on the right leg, you might hover the left foot off of the ground, and maybe this is where you stay today. Maybe you pick up the left ankle, grabbing it with your left hand and setting it on the inside of your right thigh. Maybe it's more reasonable to keep your left foot lower on the right leg. As long as it's not on the knee joint, you're fine. And as you settle in wherever you're going with it, you can bring your hands to your heart. Maybe reach your arms up overhead. Notice where the mind has gone. And then notice everything that's happening here right now. Be sure you're still breathing. Sometimes we hold our breath when we're focusing. One more breath. And as you're ready, release. On an inhale, reach to the sky. On an exhale, hinge forward, soft knees. Hang heavy, looking side to side, maybe wiggling your hips. We'll slowly wiggle our hips all the way down to the mat. And then roll onto your spine. Once you arrive, we'll flow through bridge pose a couple of times. If you prefer to settle in for stillness and bridge, you can certainly do that. Otherwise, bring the heels comfortably close to the hips. On an inhale, lift your low back, float your arms up overhead. And on an exhale, lower hips and arms back to the earth. 3 to 5 times at your own pace. Keep your chin lifted towards the sky. Keep the knees in alignment with the hips. One more breath. And returning to rest on your spine. Open your arms out wide. Breathe in as you lift your knees over your hips. Breathe out and let your legs fall to the left. Breathe in, come back to center. Breathe out, legs fall to the other side. Breathing in, come back to center and send your legs long. Arms can lower down by your sides out about 30 degrees. Allow your feet to flop open, palms towards the sky if that's comfortable. Neck long, head heavy. Rest in Shavasana, corpse pose. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. Slowly invite movement back into your body. And if you'd like to end practice together, make your way back to an easy seat. Sitting tall, noticing how you feel in the body, in the mind, in the spirit. Any sense of well-being that you've cultivated, that's always within you. The more we practice discovering it, the more easily we can find it during challenging times. If you'd like to chant Om, you can draw your hands together in front of your heart, sitting tall. Inhale deeply. The teacher in me bows to the teacher in you. Thank you for being here. As a reminder, classes are donation-based. You can pay what you can or what you feel the class is worth. And I hope to see you on Monday.